picture your tiny, your outdated hallway bathroom. You know, the exact one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Everyone has that one bathroom.
Right. It's maybe like 5 feet by 8 feet. The
Yeah.
tiles are chipped. The vanity is that weird, that shiny builder grade oak from 3 decades ago.
Yep. Complete with the Hollywood vanity lights.
Exactly. And the faucet has this slow, rhythmic drip that just, it feels like it's mocking you every time you walk by.
It's the worst.
So you stand there looking at this 40 square foot box and wonder, well, what if I told you that fixing this up could either be the smartest financial lever you pull this decade or like the absolute fastest way to light $20,000 on fire?
It really is the ultimate homeowner's paralysis. I mean, you stare at the ugly tile and you know it needs an intervention, but
You're terrified.
completely, the sheer financial anxiety of tearing open the walls just, it keeps you frozen in indecision.
Well, today we are decoding that anxiety. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are digging into the economics, the hidden value, and the surprising strategy behind remodeling a small bathroom in the year 2026.
We've got some really fascinating data to back this up.
We do. We are leaning on a brand new, highly comprehensive 2026 industry guide from USA Cabinet Store. It is just packed with fresh data on costs, return on investment, and, the shifting market trends defining renovations right now.
Which is crucial because things have changed a lot recently.
Definitely. So the mission today is to extract the absolute most important numbers from this guide so you, the listener, can understand exactly how to maximize your home's value, comfort, and safety. Because honestly, what you think adds value might actually be punishing you financially.
Yeah, that's a really important point. And I think we need to start by looking at the sheer scale of this economy, just to understand the momentum behind it.
Okay, lay it on us.
So in 2024, Americans spent an estimated $603 billion on home remodeling projects.
Wait, billion with a B.
With a B, $603 billion. That number is astronomical. And the underlying reason is what economists call the lock-in effect.
Oh, right. The mortgage rates.
Exactly. Millions of homeowners secured those rock-bottom, like 3% mortgage rates a few years ago. They simply cannot afford to trade that in for a much higher rate on a new house today.
So they're stuck. Or, well, not stuck, but they're staying put.
Right. So instead of moving, they're pouring massive amounts of capital into upgrading the footprint they already have.
And when we zoom in on the bathroom specifically, the data gets very real, very fast. According to Zillow, homeowners are seeing a return of $1.71 for every single dollar spent on a bathroom remodel.
Which is a fantastic return.
It is. Plus, homes with updated bathrooms are selling 23% faster.
Because look, a home sitting on the market costs the seller money every single day in carrying costs. The mortgage, the property taxes, the insurance.
It adds up fast.
It really does. So an updated bathroom essentially acts as like a real estate fast pass. It removes the friction of a buyer walking in and mentally adding a massive renovation hassle to the asking price.
Right.
But that $1.71 return is strictly an average.
Yeah.
The actual return on investment, or ROI, changes wildly depending on what tier of remodel you choose to execute.
Yeah, let's break down those 2026 pricing tiers for a typical small bathroom, because the guide categorizes them into 3 distinct levels.
Let's do it.
First is the basic refresh. This runs between $2,000 and $8,000. You're doing fresh paint, a new vanity, maybe swapping out the faucet, but you are keeping the layout entirely the same.
Right, no moving walls or anything.
Exactly, and the ROI on this is a very solid 60 to 86%.
Which is great.
Right.
Then you step up to what the data identifies as the absolute sweet spot. This is the mid-range remodel.
The sweet spot. Okay, what are we talking about here?
In 2026, the typical cost here is sitting right around $6,500, but it spans up to about $15,000. This involves tearing out the old materials and putting in new tile, a frameless glass shower enclosure, quality cabinetry, and modern fixtures. But again, the layout still stays put.
Got it.
And this tier consistently delivers a 65 to 80% ROI.
Which brings us to the third tier, the premium or high-end remodel. This is where you drop $15,000 to over $20,000.
Oh, yeah, the big leagues.
Right. We're talking custom cabinetry, imported natural stone from floor to ceiling, heated floors, maybe some, smart tech like LED defogging mirrors.
Sounds amazing.
It does. But wait, I need to stop here because the guide says the ROI on this luxury tier drops off a cliff, plummeting to just 36 to 55%.
Yep, it's a steep drop.
Okay, let's unpack this. How does spending $20,000 on imported marble punish you financially? That That really defies basic logic.
It feels counterintuitive, I know, but it comes down to the psychology of broad market appeal versus highly personalized luxury.
Okay, meaning what exactly?
Well, when you install premium features like heavily veined imported marble or, highly specific spa-grade fixtures, they are undeniably beautiful to live with,
Sure.
but they appeal to a much narrower pool of potential buyers. The person walking through your home during an open house might absolutely hate the specific aesthetic you chose.
Oh, I see. Meaning they mentally calculate the cost of a sledgehammer to rip out that $20,000 stone.
Exactly the problem. It's like, think of it like souping up a standard commuter car with a custom racing spoiler and a carbon fiber hood.
Ah, right.
At a certain point, the average buyer looking for a reliable sedan just isn't going to pay a premium for your highly specific taste.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. The highest ROI always comes from targeted universal upgrades that modernize the space without personalizing it too much.
Right. Like fresh paint and new fixtures yield a 90 to 100% return because they are just a blank, clean slate.
Exactly. And replacing an old toilet or a vanity hits that same 80 to 100% mark. These are fundamental improvements every single buyer appreciates, cementing that $6,500 mid-range remodel as the sweet spot.
Because jumping beyond that $6,500 mark forces you to confront the reality of where that money is actually going. Which brings us to our next point.
Right, the budget breakdown.
If we are talking about a tiny 40-square-foot room, how do we hit thousands of dollars so quickly without buying imported marble?
The primary driver is human labor, period.
Really, just the labor.
According to the 2026 data, a staggering 40 to 65% of your total budget goes straight to labor costs before you even purchase a single floor tile.
Wow, over half your budget just to get people in the room.
Exactly. In 2026 alone, plumber rates are up 8 to 10% year over year, and electricians are up 6 to 8%.
That is a massive jump.
It is. A bathroom may be the smallest room in the house, but it requires every major skilled trade to step foot in it. You need a plumber, an electrician, a tile setter, and a carpenter, all taking turns coordinating their schedules in a tiny 5x8 box.
Sounds like a logistical nightmare. And the source material also highlights a very specific economic hurdle regarding the materials themselves for 2026. We are still feeling the effects of a massive tariff shock.
Oh, the 2025 tariffs? Yeah, that was huge.
Right. In late 2025, a 50% tariff was enacted on imported bathroom vanities.
Yep. And this sent immediate ripples through the entire global supply chain, pushing the retail price of vanities up by 20 to 28% almost overnight.
So a vanity that costs, say, $1,000 in early 2025 suddenly costs close to $1,300 in 2026 simply because of the shipping origin.
Exactly. But the market adaptation to this is actually really fascinating. The strategic workaround recommended in the guide is to explicitly seek out domestic brands.
Meaning companies that produce and assemble their cabinetry within the country.
Right. You bypass that international tariffs markup entirely, protecting a huge chunk of your materials budget.
Okay, so navigating the tariffs by buying domestic is one strategy, but the guide stresses another rule for protecting your budget that feels like the ultimate golden rule of remodeling.
Do not move the plumbing.
Do not leave the building.
Never. Keeping your existing layout saves you 20 to 30% on the total project cost right out of the gate.
To put real numbers to that, relocating a toilet costs between $2,500 and $3,500. Just moving a shower drain runs $500 to $1,500.
It's crazy.
You are paying thousands of dollars just to shift a porcelain bowl 3 feet to the left.
Because you have to remember, you aren't just sliding a bowl across the floor.
Right.
You are paying a highly skilled tradesman to tear open the subfloor, reroute the main heavy cast iron or PVC waste stack, adjust the venting system.
Wait, the venting system?
Yeah, so dangerous sewer gases don't back up into your home. And then they have to ensure every pipe maintains the exact mathematical downward slope required for gravity to do its job.
What?
It is major invasive surgery on your home's infrastructure.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. If labor is eating up 65% of my budget and moving a single pipe costs $3,000, my immediate thought, and I think the thought of anyone who has ever watched a home improvement show, is that I will simply go to the hardware store, buy a sledgehammer, watch some online tutorials, and just do it myself.
Ah, the classic DIY dream.
Right. But the sources specifically warn against this. Is the DIY discount actually a myth?
It really is a dangerous illusion and often a massive financial hazard. Look, doing your own superficial demolition or painting can save a few dollars. But the moment you touch electrical wiring, plumbing, or waterproofing, you are playing with fire.
How so?
Well, take the electrical code, for instance.
Hmm.
The 2023 NEC code, that's the National Electrical Code, introduced incredibly strict mandates for wet environments. They require specific GFCI and AFCI protection.
Okay, let's define those because those acronyms sound intimidating.
Right, sorry. A GFCI is a ground fault circuit interrupter. It's that outlet by your sink with the little test and reset buttons.
Oh, sure. I know those.
Yeah, it literally cuts the power in milliseconds if, say, you drop your hair dryer into a sink full of water, saving your life.
Crucial. And the AFCI.
AFCI is an arc fault circuit interrupter, usually located at your breaker panel, that actively monitors the wires hidden behind your drywall for dangerous electrical arcing that could spark a house fire.
Okay, so serious safety stuff.
Very serious. If you wire these incorrectly because you watched a 5-minute video, the system fails.
And beyond the immediate safety hazard, the guide says you aren't actually saving as much on the materials as you think you are by going to a big box store yourself.
Exactly. Professionals get contractor pricing on materials because they bring massive volume business to suppliers. That deep discount often offsets a significant portion of what you're paying them for their labor.
That makes a lot of sense.
Plus, the ultimate risk of the DIY route is the resale penalty.
The resale penalty.
Yeah. A botched DIY job especially, like uneven tile work or amateur plumbing, is a giant glaring red flag to a professional home inspector.
Oh, I can imagine.
When an inspector flags amateur work during a home sale, the buyer's going to demand thousands of dollars in concessions to hire a professional to fix it. So it actively lowers the home's final value.
Yikes. Okay. So we spent a lot of time analyzing resale value, ROI, and how buyers perceive the space. But let's look at a different scenario.
Okay.
What if you aren't selling? What if you love your house and plan to stay for the next 15 years?
That changes the math a bit.
It does. The guide transitions beautifully into what it calls the hidden ROI, how a remodel actually pays you back in real dollars while you live there.
Right. A bathroom remodel shifts from being a real estate strategy to a daily financial utility.
Let's talk about the efficiency savings.
Well, the mechanics of modern fixtures have become incredibly efficient. Legacy shower heads from a couple of decades ago used to pump out 2.5 to 5.5 gallons of water every single minute.
Just literally pouring money down the drain.
Exactly. But modern low-flow water sense models engineer the water droplets to feel full while cutting the actual volume down to 1.5 to 2.0 gallons per minute. You cut your shower water use by up to 50% without sacrificing water pressure.
That is huge. And the toilet statistics are even wilder. Replacing one old toilet with a modern water-efficient model saves a staggering 13,000 gallons of water a year.
13,000.
Yeah. For a family of 4, an efficient dual-flush toilet can save over $300 annually on combined water and sewer bills. Add in LED lighting, which uses 80% less energy than incandescent bulbs and lasts 25 times longer, and the savings just compound rapidly.
And when you factor in local utility rebates, which frequently offer $50 to $150 just for installing these efficient fixtures, the payback period for the hardware itself is just 1 to 4 years.
Wow.
After that, they are putting money back in your pocket every single month.
So essentially, upgrading your bathroom fixtures is like putting solar panels on your bathroom. You are harvesting daily utility savings.
That's a great way to look at it.
But as I read through the source material, there was a statistic far more terrifying than a high water bill. The guide focuses heavily on catastrophic water damage.
Yes, the $12,500 ticking time bomb.
Exactly. Are we basically saying that ripping open the walls of a bathroom is just an insurance policy disguised as interior design?
Honestly, yes. It is a critical diagnostic intervention for your home's infrastructure. The stakes here are structural and financial ruin.
Ruin, really?
Yeah, look at the numbers. Roughly 1 in 50 homeowners files a water damage insurance claim every single year. The average cost of that claim is a massive $12,514.
That is painful.
Extremely. If a shower pan fails silently over time and rots the wooden floor joists holding up the room, or a corroded pipe bursts and floods the ceiling of the room below it,
Oh, man.
you're looking at $15,000 to $30,000 in deep restoration costs.
So the older the bathroom, the more likely you have a ticking time bomb behind the drywall.
Exactly. When you execute a mid-range remodel, you open the walls and expose those vulnerabilities before they become emergencies. Which brings us to waterproofing.
Ah, where you never cut corners.
Never. Spending $200 to $500 on proper modern waterproofing membranes during a remodel is mandatory.
Like what kind of products?
Products like Schluter-Kerdi, which is this bright orange waterproof sheet membrane, or RedGuard, which is a paint-on liquid rubber, they create a completely sealed, watertight envelope behind your tile.
So water never touches the wood framing.
Right. It is the cheapest insurance policy you can buy to prevent a $15,000 structural nightmare.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit.
Yeah.
Because moving walls or plumbing triggers that massive labor penalty we talked about, and because we have to protect the structural integrity of the home, we are generally forced to keep the footprint exactly as it is.
Right, you're stuck with what you have.
We are stuck with 40 square feet. So how do we trick the human brain into thinking a tiny box is actually spacious?
It's all about visual hacks. You have to hack the visual space using light, continuous lines, and floor visibility.
Okay, break that down for us.
First, you utilize light, neutral paint, and tile colors to reflect ambient light around the room. Second, you ditch the opaque shower curtain and install a frameless glass shower enclosure.
Because it removes a visual wall.
Exactly. It allows the eye to travel all the way to the back of the room uninterrupted. And third, and probably most effectively, you use floating vanities.
Oh, I love the look of floating vanities because a traditional vanity goes all the way to the floor, right? It just looks like a heavy, dense block of wood eating up your square footage.
Yep. But a floating vanity mounts directly to the wall studs and leaves the floor underneath entirely visible.
And why does that matter so much?
Because the human brain calculates the size of a room based on how much continuous floor space it can see. The more floor you see, the larger the room feels.
That is so clever.
Combine that with recessed medicine cabinets that tuck directly into the cavity between the wall studs rather than jutting out into the room, and you maximize every available inch without paying a carpenter to physically move a wall.
Brilliant. Okay, so we know how to engineer the space to feel larger, but there is a massive demographic shift altering how we think about who is actually using this space over the long term.
Oh, definitely.
The guide highlights a trend driving the market right now: aging in place.
This is arguably the most significant behavioral shift in residential remodeling right now.
Really? The biggest?
Oh, yeah. The Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University found that 45% of all remodeling spending is currently directed toward age-friendly features.
Wow, almost half.
Yeah. Baby boomers are choosing to stay in their own homes longer rather than moving into assisted living facilities, which creates massive market demand for accessibility.
And the financial return on that demand is incredible. Zillow data shows that ADA-accessible bathroom renovations, referring to the standards set by the Americans with Disabilities Act, are hitting a massive 70.6% ROI.
Beating out a lot of standard cosmetic remodels.
But so what does this all mean for the modern aesthetic? Because when I hear ADA features or aging in place, my brain immediately conjures up the image of a clinical hospital room.
Oh, sure. Harsh lighting, sterile plastic grab bar.
Right. How does a homeowner blend the need for multi-generational safety with the desire for high-end, stylish real estate?
Well, this is where the concept of universal design has completely revolutionized the industry. Designers realized that safety features don't have to look institutional.
Give me an example.
Take the curbless walk-in shower.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Right. Functionally, it is brilliant for someone in a wheelchair or someone with declining mobility because there is no threshold or ledge to trip over. But visually, a continuous tile floor flowing seamlessly right into a glass shower enclosure without a bump. It looks incredibly high-end.
It looks like a luxury spa, not a hospital.
Exactly. And it's not just for older generations.
Right, a curbless shower is amazing if you are a young parent trying to bathe a toddler without breaking your back bending over a high tub wall.
Precisely. Universal design inherently appeals to everyone. Wider doorways accommodate a walker, but they also make the room feel grander and more open.
It just feels more luxurious.
It does. Comfort height toilets are easier on the knees for aging homeowners, but they are generally preferred by most adults, regardless of age anyway.
So by integrating these features in a stylish way, you aren't narrowing your buyer pool to just seniors.
No, you are drastically widening it. You make the home infinitely more livable for young families, multi-generational households, and aging buyers all at once. That incredibly broad demographic appeal is exactly what drives up that 70.6% ROI.
Pulling all of this together, we've covered a massive amount of ground from this 2026 guide.
We really have.
When you synthesize the pricing tiers, the labor realities, the tariff workarounds, the utility efficiency, and these demographic shifts, the ultimate takeaway is clear. A small bathroom remodel is far more than a cosmetic vanity project.
Oh, absolutely. It is a highly engineered, financial lever. You are balancing three distinct pillars:
Hmm.
real estate marketability, daily utility efficiency, and critical structural maintenance.
Right.
You are leveraging a $6,500 mid-range budget to secure an 80% ROI, aggressively lower your daily water and energy bills, and preemptively stop a $15,000 water damage disaster from rotting your floorboards.
So armed with these 2026 numbers, you don't have to approach your next renovation as a dreaded chore. You can look at it as a diagnostic checkup, an efficiency upgrade, and a massive value add all rolled into one tiny footprint.
Pound for pound is the most valuable real estate you own.
Which leaves us with one final lingering question to ponder. We've just spent this time proving that targeted, hyper-efficient upgrades in a tiny 40-square-foot room offer some of the absolute best return on investment in the entire house.
Yeah.
How might this reality change the way we view real estate entirely in the future? Right now, American culture has this obsession with massive, sprawling square footage.
Oh, the McMansion phase.
Exactly. But as labor costs rise, as materials become more expensive, and as the desire for energy efficiency grows, will that obsession eventually give way?
That's a great question.
Will the homes of the future abandon sprawling square footage in favor of highly engineered, self-sustaining microspaces that perfectly serve our daily needs without an inch of wasted space?
It certainly puts a different perspective on that dripping faucet.
It really does. Something for you to think about the next time you find yourself standing in the hallway, staring down at those chip tiles in your own 40-square-foot bathroom. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.